Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very, very wonderful day and a very, very beautiful evening and an afternoon as well. Guys, I just want to tell you something. I couldn't exactly download. I did exactly download the picture of the character that I was able to exactly that I'm about to exactly talk about you, but I couldn't exactly get the name of the character to be on the picture as usual. So you guys will have to bear with me on this. But today's character is about today's episode is about Window Girl, who is an assassin and a supervillain and a high-ranking member of an ancient secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the 12 that exactly wants to rule and conquer the known universe and the rest of sacred existence and the sacred world in the process. So let's exactly get to it. In Window Girl's early life, she was raised by the Memory Sisters. She was raised by the Memory Sisters, who are after all her distant, who are after all her distant relative, who are after all her distant relatives, and were able to exactly raise Window Girl, giving her a home and as well as a family. They're able to taught Window Girl the ways to fight in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, agility and marksmanship, and hand-to-hand combat, and agility and endurance as well. She became very, very skilled in swordsmanship, in archery, in bow and arrow. She became very, very sharp, and she's very, very intelligent and very, very like to be smart. During at that time, Winter Girl decided in order to exactly recruit some unknown assassins, recruiting some unknown assassins and powerful assassins of her own in order for her to form her own dark organization known as the organization of dark agents, which these agents will exactly operate within excuse me, which these agents will exactly operate within her command, able to follow her command and able to follow her best wishes and also to be operating under her greatest authority as well. During at that time, Winter Girl became very, very quietly adamant and very quietly ambitious as she exactly able to took over she took up an island. She took up an island volcano city and able to exactly use the island volcano city as a central headquarters or as a central headquarters for her to exactly operate from. During at that time, she took members of engineers, very, very smart and intelligent engineers, and as well as assassins as well. She able to exactly offer them a very powerful position without be granted more power and more control of many, many territories that the Shadow Empire has been controlling and also been conquering as well, which in return she exactly asked them for her services and for their services and also for their help in the mission. The engineers and the mechanics exactly agreed that they'll exactly serve the Universal Prince and they'll like do everything in their power to make sure the Universal Prince's empire remains untouchable and invincible and also very, very formidable empire and the most powerful empire ever known and ever seen during with the greatest technological advancement. And Wonder Girl was very, 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 very likely to be surprised and very, very likely to be intrigued by the engineers and by the mechanics, meaning that she gave them powerful designs and greater designs to design airships and air balloons and also battle cruisers and warships as well for the Universal Prince in order for the Universal Prince to begin his claim to taking his rightful claim at the Universal Throne when the time was quietly ready. He'll have an empire and an armada at by his side and under his control. And the engineers quietly reluctantly agreed that they'll design the new powerful air balloons and airships and battle cruisers and warships at the command of the Universal Prince. And Window Girl was reluctantly pleased as she shook hands with the engineers and with the mechanics, remarking that this is the beginning of the newfound partnership and of the newfound partnership of a deal that could exactly help them to transcend and expand the Universal Prince's empire and dominion over the sacred universe and over the known universe and over humanity in the process as well. And the engineers were like to be proud and very would like to be pleased. On the 1st of January, Window Girl was able to exactly attend a meeting with the Memory Sisters on the secret dark laboratory of the experiment, telling them that the Universal Heroes and the Universal Heroes and Intergalactic Coalition had become quietly rather permissive and rather to be ruthless with their newfound skills and their abilities and everything else. The Memory Sisters exactly reassured Window Girl that everything else is going accordingly to schedule, the way it's intended to be. Nothing could disturb the plans or the preparation that have already been set in stone and that have already been set in stone and into motion. And Windigo was very quite surprised, but also relatively intrigued. She returned back to the central to the capital island of the volcano where her assassins were trained on the 10th of January, where she kept on training them on swordsmanship and also in hand-to-hand combat, and she kept on exactly training them. During at that time, the engineers exactly showed Winter Girl a powerful design of a powerful, formidable airship, and then also a formidable battle cruiser and a warship as well, which meaning that the ships could exactly provide the control and ability for the Universal Prince to conquer many worlds and many civilizations and many nations throughout the galaxy and throughout the known universe in a process as well. And Windigo was relatively intrigued and very surprised as well. On the first of February, Windigo and her assassins exactly went out on a rogue on another mission in order to conquer another world and other civilization by using an armada of battle cruisers and warships in order to lay waste to the civilization, but the Intergalactic Coalition was able to intercept them. The battle lasted for 2 days and for 3 months and for 4 months, for 3 days until both sides exactly lost, until both sides greatly lost. Casualties on both sides were enormous, and they were very much enormous as ever before, as both sides suffered enormous amounts of casualties. But Window Girl continued her mission in laying waste to the other worlds and other civilization as the airships and battle cruisers continued decimating and destroying the other capital cities of the alien cities and of the supernatural cities of the werewolves, the vampires, the witches, the warlocks, the druids, and the faithful as well in the process. During that time, the Intergalactic Coalition did everything else in its power to protect those worlds and those civilizations, but with the enemies overwhelming power and with the enemy of overwhelming power and with the enemies overwhelming power and also resistant and persistent, they were unfortunately defeated as the Universal Prince conquered another world and another civilization, placing it under his sole control with his newfound empire and with his newfound armada and of warships and an air fleet and airships and air fleets and air balloons and battle cruisers and warships under his sole control, operating in the behalf for him, working on the behalf of the Order of the 12 and working on the behalf of the Universal Prince, which Winter Girl was reluctantly pleased and very reluctantly surprised that now she's conquered an entire world and the rest of the other worlds have already fallen under the control of the Universal Prince. She told the inhabitants to show allegiance and pledge their allegiance and loyalty to the Universal Prince or suffer a fate far worse than death. The other warlocks and the other witches and the other druids exactly stood on their allegiance and their loyalty, but the other aliens exactly, they would say that they'll never bow down to the Universal Prince or to the members of the Order of the 12. Window Girl exactly killed the alien leader and the rest of the other alien ambassadors and only told the werewolves and also the witches and the vampires to exactly submit or face death, which they were able to successfully do so. They forcefully submitted and they were all exactly bowed down to the new regime of the Universal Prince, stating that he is now the new king of the sacred universe and the new king of the sacred universe and of the sacred world. And Winter Girl was very proud and very reluctantly pleased. On the 1st of March, Winnegar was able to return to the Power Temple, where her followers were exactly following her, where she was able to meet with the great leaders of the Great Temple. They were able to meet up with the great leaders of the Great Temple who prophesied and foreseeing everything else of the war. She exactly asked for their guidance and also for their guidance and also for their wisdom in order to exactly tell them what they're foreseeing for the war. The prophets exactly told Winnegar that they could not exactly see anything else quietly clear, but they were able to tell her that there's a terrible threat and a terrible danger that's quite an aggressive approach and is approaching very quietly, quickly. The balance of power could shift radically and very badly from both sides and from all sides of the war between good and evil and evil as well. And Winter Girl was very interested in how this can exactly turn out to be. On the 10th of March, Winter Girl and the rest of her forces launch a full-scale invasion on the other worlds and other civilizations with their air balloons and with their airships and battle cruisers and warships as well under her sole control and following under her orders. They were able to exactly launch a full-scale invasion, put the other worlds and other planets under to secretly submit to the Universal Prince's new rule and new regime. But those sacred heroes were able to intercept Winter Girl's forces and the rest of her forces when the Intergalactic Coalition was able to arrive in time in order to attack the enemy and in order to remove the enemy's grip and control from the other worlds. The battle lasted for 4 days this time, completely for 4 days, as it continued to lasting until on the 15th of March, where Wintergall fully conquered an entire civilization and the rest of the other worlds and placed them solely under the control of the Universal Prince and under his new rule. The Intergalactic Coalition lost the battle, and so did the Sacred Heroes, as they realized that the enemy is more powerful and more dangerous and more indestructible and more invincible than ever before. Wintergirl told the members of the Intergalactic Coalition to pledge their allegiance and their loyalty to the Universal Prince's new rule and to the members of the Order of the 12, but they exactly refused. One member of the Intergalactic Coalition exactly saw his allegiance to the Universal Prince and also to his new rule and also to his new empire and to his new regime. And Wintergirl was reluctantly pleased and very, very, very satisfied with this development. Completely satisfied. On the 1st of April, Wintergirl was able to meet up with a member of the Intergalactic Coalition, telling him that the Intergalactic Coalition needs to exactly do its rightful purpose in crippling the Shadow Empire and its current leader out of power and removing him out of power completely, meaning it will pave a way for the Order of the 12 and for the Universal Prince to rule the rest of sacred existence and to wipe out the Universal Heroes and the Four Nation Hunters out of the process. But the Intergalactic Coalition told Wintergirl, the member of the Intergalactic Coalition told Wintergirl that the war between the monsters and the Four Nation Hunters is spiraling out of control, and the monsters may soon exactly get the upper hand to win and wiping out the Four Nation Hunters in the process, which meaning that one problem is quietly solved, but underestimating the Universal Heroes' ability will be quietly too much and too very, very destructive in order to take them lightly. And Wintergirl quietly agreed that the plan has been exactly being set in order to destroy the Universal Heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition and the Four Nation Hunter. Everything else will go accordingly to plan the way it's intended to be, accordingly to plan. And she also exactly reassured him that everything else is falling according to schedule, the way it's meant to be. On the first of May, Wintergirl and the rest of her followers continue to walk the streets of the conquered world and all of the other civilization, marking the grip and control of the Universal Prince's control of the other worlds and other civilization, to try off to destroy any resistance or rebels within who are trying to rise up in order to fight against the Universal Prince. But one warlock exactly told Wintergirl that the Universal Prince's reign won't last for too long. He will exactly be stopped. And Wintergirl exactly told her followers not to kill this warlock, letting him be alive when he can exactly serve as a useful bait. Wintergirl took the warlock to the dark druids and to the dark witches and to the dark faithful on the first of June, where they were able to conduct various experiments with the warlock, taking his blood and able to test it, combining it with shadow energy and infusing it with the power of the dark entities. And Wintergirl was reluctantly pleased that the dark druids were able to create a supernatural weapon and a powerful bomb that could destroy planets and worlds in a matter of moments and in a matter of minutes. And she was very reluctantly pleased that this bomb could exactly become the first achievement of the Order of the 12's mission and goal in destroying other planets and other worlds and other worlds and other worlds and other worlds in the process as well. On the first of June, Wintergirl and the rest of her forces exactly planted the bomb within a destroyed planet, within a barbaric world, within a barbaric planet, where they were able to exactly do so. And when she was able to watch through the monitors in order to see if the bomb would exactly do its exact purpose. But during at the time, the Universal Earth Heroes were able to intercept the bomb and were able to exactly arrive on time in order to exactly stop it from detonating. And Wintergirl was very, very quietly disappointed and very, very quietly angry with this, not successfully happy with this development and not quietly happy. She told the dark magic users to go and attack the Universal Earth Heroes once and for all and destroy them, which they exactly went into battle against the Universal Earth Heroes. The battle lasted until the Universal Earth Heroes became triumphed and became victorious against the enemies, and they were able to defeat them in one fell swoop. And they took the bomb as evidence in order to make sure that whoever exactly planted the bomb was a powerful mastermind. And they took the dark druids and the dark witches and the dark faithful and sentenced them straightly into the Astral Prison, a prison designed to house super criminals and super villains, and also rogue aliens and evil warlords and evil warlocks and warlocks and evil warlords and warlocks and Shadow Empire warlords and rogue heroes and powerful bad people who do and powerful super criminals who do bad stuff and all of that, which they were ultimately sentenced there. On the 1st of July, Wonder Girl was able to meet up with the Memory Sister, telling them that her plans in conquering other worlds has been exactly a success, and that making those other worlds the territory of the Universal Prince has become a very glorified success. The Memory Sisters were quietly pleased and very, very, very happy with Wonder Girl's success and also mission as well, meaning that they made the right choice making her the member. They made the right choice making her the member of the Order of the 12, and they were very will like to be pleased that she joined forces with them. With the resources and everything else, the Universal Prince's regime and reign will become untouchable and will become indestructible and also invincible as well. The Memory Sisters told Wingirl that their meeting will be taking place on September, which she exactly has to be preparing herself as well. And Wingirl would like to be pleased and very quietly agree that she will attend the meeting as well. On the 10th of July, Wonder Girl was able to meet up with the Dark Truth and the Dark Witch is able to exactly confirm the results about the testing of the Warlock's blood and DNA, stating that his blood is more powerful and very quietly potent. And the Dark Truths were able to confirm that his blood is more powerful and very potent, which could exactly help them create a powerful supernatural weapon that'll be under their control. And Wonder Girl was reluctantly pleased and very, 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 very proud of this success. Completely proud. On the 1st of August, Wonder Girl and the rest of her forces exactly attended a video conference where they are able to speak of the other conquered worlds and other civilizations, stating that those territories have become colonies, between warlocks and witches and werewolves and warlords and warlords and witches and druids and faithful and also fairy witches and fairies themselves, where they're all living in harmony, and aliens and superhumans as well, all living in harmony, and that those colonies have already been conquered, and that the huge giant statue of the Universal Prince has really been put in the middle of the cities and all the other worlds and civilizations, meaning that the people and the civilization are well aware that they are serving the Universal Prince and that he'll become the new Universal King one way or another. And Winter Girl would like to be pleased and very, very, very gratefully proud of the progress and also the success of the Universal Prince's rule and claim to the Universal Throne, and his succession will come to bear fruit one way or another. On the 1st of September, Winter Girl attended a meeting of the members of the Order of the 12, where one member sister was able to compliment Windmaster, who is the new enforcer of the group, telling him that he done a very good job in exactly making sure that the Shadow Empire warlords, the commanders, saw their allegiance to the Order of the 12, and also to his organization and everything else, and also thanking Razor for his grateful job in conquering numerous territories of the Shadow Empire, making those territories the Universal Prince's territory for his new empire and also for his new leadership, meaning that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's intended to be. On the 15th of September, Winter Girl attended a meeting of the Order of the 12 again, where the Universal Prince was able to reassure the members of the Order of the 12 that everything else is going according to plan, the way it's supposed to be, that he formed a powerful alliance with the Star Prince, meaning that they are hereby allies. When defeating Red Bolt and the Dark Order and the Shadow Empire, the Star Prince and the Universal Prince will be able to rule the Sacred Universe and the Star Universe and the other universes together as one, meaning that they'll become the sole rulers of the cosmos, and that the plan is quietly being put in place to wipe out the Universal heroes and also to remove them out of the way. But underestimating their ability is something that they cannot exactly repeat to exactly let that happening again. And Winter Girl was quietly present in the meeting, in which she quietly attended the meeting of the Order of the 12 at that time. Winter Girl was able to return to her central headquarters of her home island, where she was able to exactly sit at the throne, where one of her followers on the first of October, where one of her followers exactly told Winter Girl that the rest of her assassins are exactly picking up pace and that they are becoming worthy prodigies, they're becoming worthy prodigies for the Universal Prince in order to take the throne after him when he quietly dies. And Window Girl was reluctantly pleased and very proud that the succession of the Universal Prince, and that when he dies, he will have his followers and the rest of his protégés to take over where he exactly left off, and that his legacy will continue to go on and will continue to exactly to bear fruit in everything else he's done, meaning his work will become a legendary work above the Universal King. Despite this, guys, Window Girl is very ruthless and very ambitious and very powerful dark assassin supervillain who will do whatever it takes to make sure that the Universal Prince's newfound empire remains in power and in control of everything. She is the reason behind its technological advances with the airships and air balloons and battle cruisers, and with the new powerful battle cruisers and warships that are exactly under the control of the Universal Prince as his fleet in order for him to exactly attack and invade other worlds and other planets. She is the reason that the Universal Prince's reign is becoming so powerful and so invincible and so indestructible for past many centuries and for many years. She's very loyal to the members of the Order of the 12, and she's an associate of the members of the Order of the 12, and she quietly believes in the Universal Prince's goals and mission to becoming the new Universal King and in thrusting the world of humanity into chaos and into further destruction. She'll do whatever it takes to make sure that the Universal Prince and the members of the Order of the 12 remain the sole rulers of the cosmos, and that they remain in power, and that his newfound empire will have an army behind him, and that the army will exactly help him conquer more worlds and more civilization and more unknown worlds and more unknown planets and more unknown universes in the process as well. Winter Girl is very ruthless and very cruel, smart strategist and a tactician, very clever, and she bears much of raw intellect within her mind, which makes her very ruthless, very skilled in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, marksmanship, arrow and bow and archery, and also an arrow and bow and archery, and on agility and also in endurance. She's very smart, very beautiful, very persuasive, very manipulative, and very evil in nature. She'll do whatever it takes to make sure that the Universal Prince's newfound empire is more powerful and more indestructible against the Shadow Empire and against Lord Shadowjack's empire and against Lord Justin's empire, to making sure that his reign is so indestructible and so invincible. Behind the scenes, she's the reason that the Universal Prince has developed new technologies, new technological advancements, and everything else with his empire, with his new fleet, with the new fleet of battle cruisers and warships and airships and air balloons. It has highly evolved. His new empire has highly evolved ever since, and has become the most formidable empire and the most deadly empire ever since. Beyond the age of the original Lord of Magic and beyond the age of the Shadow Empire. In doing so, she believes that the Universal Prince New Empire is destined to rule the cosmos, and she'll do whatever it takes to make sure that the Universal Prince exactly rules the Sacred Universe and the Star Universe and the Golden Universe, the Mixel Universe, and the Over Universe and the Dark Universe, and the Sacred Universe and the Sacred Universe and the Mixel and the Over Universe and the Robotics Universe as well, and the Robotics Universe and the Star Universe in the process of his goals, for his goals for universal domination and for the rest of his conquest and for the rest of his mission. She'll make sure that he remains in power and in control of the cosmos, and that he is exactly the sole ruler against his greatest competitors, known as the New Little Magic, and also the founders, the Order of the Five, and Lord Shadowjack, and also Lord Ra, and the Sacred Circle, and the Order of the Six, and the Galactic and the Unholy Alliance, to making sure that he remains invincible and also indestructible and powerful. Thanks to Window Girl's technological advancement, the Universal Prince's empire and fleet has adapted and has evolved from many years and for many centuries, making it the greatest empire that's ever existed throughout sacred history. And that his empire, the Universal Prince's empire's goal is to conquer and rule known worlds and known civilizations and other sacred nations and other worlds and other clans and other planets, and to making sure that the Universal Prince becomes the sole dominant ruler of the sacred universe and of the known universe by any and all means necessary. She forms alliances with powerful criminals and powerful villains in order to aid them with their respective goals and their ultimate goal to making sure that the Universal Prince remains in power and then he remains in control of the sacred war and of the sacred conflict that exactly been going on for many ages. Winter Girl is very ruthless and very cruel and very adaptable, a very powerful, adaptable supervillain, and very, very, very smart and intelligent woman. And a very intelligent woman, and also very, very clever and very manipulative assassin supervillain girl. Not meant to be underestimated. She learns from her past encounters against the Universal heroes that the abilities in underestimating her operation abilities that they cannot be taken lightly ever again by any means necessary. Well, guys, that's it for today's episode. I'll exactly see you tomorrow. God bless you all. Have a wonderful day and an afternoon and evening. I will see you tomorrow. Stay safe. Bye.